core attribute.
Your dog city holster?
This nigga's lag switching.
Cheating?
Yeah, you
That's
know,
what
right
you
to
came
lag
to
switching.
do?
Yeah. He did that. Clip. Part of the collection.
A lag switch is a device or software that intentionally introduces artificial lag in online games, granting players an unfair advantage by manipulating their internet connection. By temporarily interrupting or delaying the flow of data to and from the server, players can appear to be frozen, teleport, or perform actions that are impossible under normal circumstances. Here's a more detailed explanation. How it works. A lag switch can be a physical device connected to a player's internet connection, like a router or console, or software that manipulates network settings. When activated, the device or software creates a temporary delay or interruption in the flow of data packets between the player's device and the game server. Unfair advantage. This artificial lag can give the player an unfair advantage in several ways. Appear frozen. The player can appear to be standing still or moving slowly to other players, allowing them to avoid attacks or reposition themselves. Teleportation. By rapidly toggling the lag switch, a player can seemingly teleport across the game map. Delayed actions. Actions like firing a weapon or parrying can be delayed or appear to happen instantly due to the lag, making them difficult to react to for other players. Not the same as general lagging. It's important to note that a lag switch is different from general internet lag experienced by players with poor or unstable connections. A lag switch is an intentional manipulation of the connection for a specific advantage, whereas general lag is due to various factors like distance from the server, network congestion, or hardware limitations. Examples. Some examples of how a lag switch might be used include a player seemingly appearing to teleport behind an opponent before attacking. A player appearing to be frozen in place while they move around the game. A player's attacks appearing to come out instantly, making them hard to parry or react to. It's difficult to pinpoint one system that's most problematic with lag switchers, as lag switching is a general issue that can affect any game that relies on a network connection. However, peer-to-peer games and games on older consoles tend to be more susceptible. Here's why. 1. Peer-to-peer connections. In games where players directly connect to each other peer-to-peer, a lag switcher can intentionally cause lag on their end, potentially gaining an advantage. This is because the game might prioritize the player's own connection, even if it's intentionally degraded, leading to issues like teleporting or inconsistent input. 2. Older consoles and systems. Older consoles and systems may have less robust network infrastructure and anti-cheat measures compared to newer consoles and PC. This can make it easier for players to bypass security and use lag switches. 3. Specific games. Some games are more vulnerable to lag switching due to their network architecture or lack of effective anti-cheat measures. For example, games like Dark Souls, GTA Online, and older versions of Call of Duty have been reported to have issues with lag switchers. In summary, while any game can be affected by lag switchers, peer-to-peer games and games on older consoles and systems tend to be more vulnerable due to their networking and security limitations. In peer-to-peer, P2P games, a lag switch can be more effective because it leverages the direct connection between players, allowing for manipulation of the network latency experienced by others. With P2P, a player's own connection directly impacts the other player's game experience, making lag switching more noticeable and impactful. Here's a more detailed explanation. Direct connection. In P2P, players' devices communicate directly with each other, instead of going through a central server. This means any latency introduced by a player's device, like a lag switch, will be directly experienced by other players. Host-based games. Many P2P games rely on one player's computer to act as the host, with other players connecting to that host. This host's connection and processing power can heavily impact the game's performance for everyone. Host migration. If the host disconnects or their connection is poor, the game might have to switch to a different player's device as the host, which can create host migration issues and introduce new lag. Control over the network. Lag switching allows a player to artificially introduce packet loss and latency at will, which can make them harder to hit or allow them to see other players' positions accurately, even while appearing to be lagged. Impact on other players. The manipulated network conditions in P2P can have a significant impact on other players, making their own game experience more frustrating and challenging. In contrast, with a dedicated server, the server acts as a central point for all player connections, and the server's own performance is the main factor in game latency. While a player's individual connection can still affect their own experience, it doesn't directly impact other players as much as in P2P. Devs can combat lag switching by implementing several strategies, including monitoring packet loss and latency, detecting unusual connection behaviors, and using server-side validation to ensure actions are consistent. They can also penalize players with reported lag switching behavior and implement game mechanics that make lag switching less effective. Here's a more detailed look at these strategies. 1. Packet loss and latency monitoring. Track packet loss and latency. Devs can monitor network packets from players to identify unusual patterns, such as high packet loss or fluctuating latency. Flag suspicious activity. If a player's connection shows signs of intentional disruption, such as frequent disconnection and reconnection, it can be flagged for further investigation. 2. Detecting unusual connection behaviors. Identify and analyze connection patterns. Devs can analyze a player's connection history to identify patterns that are indicative of lag switching, such as abrupt changes in ping or packet loss during critical game moments. Implement detection mechanisms. They can use algorithms to detect and flag these suspicious behaviors, triggering alerts or actions within the game. 3. Server-side validation. Verify client-side data. Devs can use server-side validation to ensure that actions reported by players are consistent with the game's rules and physics, preventing lag switching from being used to cheat. Implement time synchronization. They can implement time synchronization mechanisms on the server to ensure that actions are recorded and processed accurately, even if a player's connection is disrupted. 4. Penalties for reported lag switching. Report and punish offenders. Devs can implement systems for players to report suspected lag switchers, with penalties for those who are found guilty. Ban or suspend accounts. Players who repeatedly engage in lag switching can be penalized with account bans or suspensions. 5. Game mechanics to reduce effectiveness. Implement client-side prediction. By implementing client-side prediction, developers can make the game more resilient to lag and lag switching, making it less effective for cheaters. Prioritize server-side authority. By giving the server more authority over game actions, devs can reduce the impact of client-side manipulation, including lag switching.